Okay, the first drawing command we will learn is how to draw lines. In an earlier video, we talked about making sure that the restrict cursor orthogonally button in the lower right-hand corner of your computer screen really needs to be left on so that as I draw lines, they will remain either horizontal or vertical unless I do something to change them. Before we get in too deep, you will find the line command in your AutoCAD Pocket reference in section 4 under Drawing Entities. Something else that you may want to look at, because you're going to see me use this before this video is over with, is to go to section number 7 as well, looking at input options, looking at things like relative coordinates, absolute coordinates, and coordinate input and polar input. So you might want to read those handful of pages. There's probably no more than half a dozen in the entire section. Anyway, when I go up to the Draw panel, which is inside of the Home ribbon, that's where I'm going to find my line command. So when I click on that, my dynamic input and inside of my command line asks me to specify my first point. I can specify my first point by just moving the cursor onto the screen and left-clicking to pick that point arbitrarily, or I can type in a known X and Y coordinate if I have one. There's also another way that I can identify the location of that first point, and that is to use my object snaps. If I've got something that already exists, let's say for instance, let me do this. I'm just going to draw a circle real quick. We'll cover the circle command later. Okay, I'm going to draw a line. It says specify first point. If I come to the middle, you see this object snap open up. That is the center point of that circle. So if I left click, that line is going to start on the center point of that circle. I could have used the quadrants and other object snaps. I'm not limited to just that. So now as I drag the cursor to the right, it takes that line and draws it and stretches it like it's a rubber band, okay? And you'll see in my dynamic input that that line to 4 decimal places is 8.2090. Do not go by what you see in this box. AutoCAD will string the value of the length of a line or something like that out to infinity. So you don't know this line is perfectly 8.2090 units in length. It's just rounded to the nearest 4th decimal place. So let's just say I wanted this line to be, I don't know, let's say 7 inches long. If I drag like this to show direction, AutoCAD is asking me in the command line to specify where the next point is. Let's say I wanted this line to be horizontal and I wanted it to be 7 inches long. As I'm dragging to show direction, I type the number 7, press enter, and now I've drawn that line perfectly 7 inches long. This is an example of relative input because the end point here is 7 inches away from the starting point. Okay? I can also draw a line using polar coordinates. Polar coordinates are basically set up around a center point. So I've got a line, a circle. I'm going to draw a line from here. If I come out here, you'll notice right above my cursor in a gray box, you'll see the number 0 with the degrees symbol. Polar coordinates basically work off of a circle. I can define where the next point is based on how far away the end point is from the center of this circle and at what angular rotation I'm going to draw it at. If you go back into your textbook, and you'll need to know this, okay? This needs to go in your notes because you're going to be doing this a lot this semester. Let's say I want to draw this line at 45 degrees. If I press the Shift key and go to the top on my number pad and click the number 2, it gives me the @ symbol. Okay? Hang on, I did something wrong. Let me try it again. Line from the center of the circle, Shift, @ and you see the @ symbol pops up here in the dynamic input. Let's say I want that line to be 3 inches long, so I'm going to type in number 3. Then I'm going to press the Shift key again and press the comma key. That gives me the less than symbol. And then I'm going to type in 45 degrees. That is a particular syntax. You have to use it. The @ symbol tells AutoCAD I'm going to give it a line length next. The less than symbol is an angular indicator, so it says the next number is the angle of the line. So when I hit the enter button, I'm going to have a line that's 3 inches long and drawn at a 45-degree angle from the start point, which was the center of the circle. And there it is. Notice the command line. If I drag straight down, I'm going to type in, drag it down, I'm going to draw another line 5 inches long. I'm going to drag over another 8 inches, and I'm going to keep on going. The line command remains active until I'm finished with it, okay? So one more thing I want to show you. I can draw a line and use to define the first point. You know, we talked about object snaps. I want to show you a neat one. I'm going to come down here to my object snap, or this is a way to bring up the object snap menu for a single click or a single pick. I'm going to choose Shift and I'm going to right click my mouse, and here are my object snaps. I'm going to use the tangent object snap, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to be tangent here. Okay, now I can drag this line all over the place. Okay. Now, what if I wanted the other end of this line to be 3 inches from wherever it's going to end up being tangent to this circle, and I wanted it drawn at a -5 degrees? I don't want it horizontal. I want it angled down this way. So I'm going to type in @3 less than. I can either type in -5 or I can type in 355. I'm just going to use -5 because it's easier. And there's my angle. So these are the ways you draw lines using AutoCAD. Again, go back and read the information that you'll find in sections 5 and sections 7.